Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's edition of Biz Talks with Fred Holmes. And this might come as a big surprise. I'm Fred Holmes. Welcome to my home office. And a very special warm welcome to those of you that are invited guests. That somebody invited you to be part of this presentation. Maybe a coworker's been talking to you about our Zija products. Or maybe family members been sharing with you a little bit about the incredible opportunity. Very excited to be here this evening for this edition, because tonight I have a guest that I'm going to be bringing on in just a couple of moments. Doug Stroup. He's one of our company's top income earners, but one of the largest organizations within Zija International. The information that you're going to get from Doug is going to be very, very valuable to you. But let me kind of frame up the evening real quick. We're going to be here for just a few minutes. And what we'll be doing this evening is we're going to be introducing you to the next billion-dollar company within the network marketing profession. Now, in particular, those of you that are invited guests, perhaps you came here because you've been hearing about an opportunity to create an additional income stream, something that allows you to have some leverage, maybe create an income stream that can become residual, looking for additional income without having to disturb your lifestyle. Maybe it's paying for a child's college education, helping pay down the mortgage, maybe setting aside more money for retirement. For some of you, you might be looking for an opportunity to create a full-time income with the benefits that people like myself have had, to be able to build a business at home, to work your own schedule instead of having your life scheduled by somebody else. All of those things are available to you in the profession of network marketing. And something I was just sharing on a video conference here about 30 minutes ago with a young man out in Japan, a professional basketball player. This is truly the only way that the average person can create true financial independence, is through a vehicle like this. And frankly, most people, if you've hit the age of mid-20s or 30s, you've been exposed to a network marketing company. I've had the privilege of being around this profession now for over 30 years. As a much younger man, I used to be a cross-country truck driver. Left that to get involved in network marketing and was able to retire in 10 years. And that changed everything for me. And so tonight we want to introduce you to the reason why I came out of retirement to get back involved in this profession. The company Zija International. As a matter of fact, I've got my work shirt on here. Our mantra is Life Unlimited. Zija International, we're a relatively young company. We have just completed our 11th year in business. But what's of most intriguing about this company is the owner of the company, Ken Brailsford. Ken Brailsford, while you may not recognize his name, Ken is an icon in both the direct marketing and nutritional supplementation industries. You'll recognize who Ken is when you find out that Ken is known as the father of encapsulation. He's the first person that took medicinal herbs, put them into gel caps to make it easier for the average person to consume the benefits of those medicinal herbs. Ken is a legend, an icon in network marketing, because Ken has created two of what really is only about 24 companies within the entire profession that have become legacy companies. Ken started his first company back in the early 70s, Nature's Sunshine. Continues today, approaching 45 years in business, multiple billions in sales. It's one of just literally a couple of handfuls of companies that have been able to stand the test of time. Ken went on in the 80s to become the founder of Enrich International. Now continues under the name of Unicity, another one of the company, the industry's long-term, multi-billion-dollar, multi-decade companies. Probably equally significant, several of the industry's top companies were spawned by Ken Brailsford through the people that he mentored and trained in the early days. Companies like For Life Research, Sunrider Products, Zango, Tahitian Noni. These are all major companies that become billion-dollar companies within the profession of network marketing, all because of this one man, Ken Brailsford. Now, the Zija story starts several years ago when Ken saw a video documentary that aired on the Discovery Channel about a botanical, a tree, if you will, by the name of Moringa oleifera. And what Ken saw was something so unique that, in Ken's words, he was spiritually prompted to come out of retirement to bring this product to market in a format that the Western world could consume on a daily basis and receive the benefits of the Moringa oleifera tree. As you do your research, you'll find that the U.S. government's NIH, the National Institutes of Health, they produced a paper back in April of 2008 stating that the Moringa oleifera tree was the most nutrient-dense botanical they'd ever studied. And we're talking over 5,000 different botanicals. It's got, today, there are literally hundreds of, Western peer-reviewed, double-blind medical studies attesting to the incredible nutrient power of this tree. We launched our company a few years ago with the world's first Moringa drink, if you will, the tree in liquid form. And we have built our company in just a short few years to become one of the significant companies within our profession. Today, as we speak, we have created an environment that has so much potential. We have several product divisions today. We have our core nutritional products that are all based on the Moringa oleifera tree. We've got the healthy, natural weight loss program where people can shed unwanted pounds, be able to maintain that, do it in a healthy fashion through good nutrition, plant-based nutrition. Personally, I'll be 64 years old here in a couple of months, and today I have now lost over 35 pounds since I first started in Zija. I weigh what I did in my early 20s. And I'm certainly in a lot better health than most guys that are even 20 years younger than me. We've expanded into one of the most exciting lines of health and wellness products, essential oils. The essential oil market is phenomenal. Today, there are two companies that dominate that product division, essential oils, at well over $1 billion in sales, and yet they can't touch the products that we're producing. We're the first company in the market to bring clinical grade essential oils to the marketplace. We've expanded into a line of sports nutrition products. As you look at the market, the fastest growing segment of nutritional supplementation is sports nutrition. But when you look at the products that are in there, they're terrible. Soy-based protein products, energy products that are laden with artificial colorants, artificial sweeteners. We are the only company in the marketplace that brings a complete line of sports nutrition related products that are all healthy, all natural, plant-based protein products. We've expanded into consumer care products. We've got cutting edge technology in skincare. We've got personal product lines without the chemicals and the artificial ingredients that we know we don't want to put on our bodies. The shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, body soap, all these kinds of things today, unlike, when I first started, we have a line of products that meet the needs of virtually every single person out there. These are products that people are looking for, they desire, and the only place they can be found is through independent distributors of Zija's products. And now add timing to it. Unlike when I first joined this company, today we have a multi-million-dollar infrastructure. We own everything. We're 100% vertically integrated, from the plantations we grow our raw materials for our Moringa products to we own our own state-of-the-art pharmaceutical grade manufacturing facilities, Class A office space, literally tens of thousands of square feet of manufacturing, warehouse and distribution facilities, the capacity to ship our products now over 50 countries worldwide. And most exciting, the founder of Zija International, after 5 years not retired from Zija but focusing on his other businesses, just made the announcement that he is returning to Zija International to take us from, the $200 million a year company that we are today and lead us into the $500 million a year and the $1 billion a year categories. To have the tenure and the experience of a Ken Brailsford daily working with the company, that is essentially a guarantee of incredible success. And so what I want to present to you this evening, for those of you that are invited guests, what if you could have a company with the kind of pedigree in terms of leadership that we have with Ken Brailsford, a product line that meets recognized needs. You don't have to convince people that they need these products. They're already looking for these products. And the timing with a company like Zija International, where we've already invested and developed the infrastructure, where we could literally today, as we are sitting here right now, create over $1 billion in annual sales of our products, yet we're just a very small percentage of that. This is the timing for the person to get involved, follow the principles of success in our profession, and develop distribution networks and a consumer base. This is the sweet spot where the fortunes have been made in our profession. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to invite my dear friend and business partner, Doug Stroup. Where is Doug? Doug, I'm going to be bringing you over here to this side of the webinar. Doug Stroup, for those of you that haven't met Doug or haven't had a chance to hear of Doug's story. Hey, Doug, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, Fred. How are you?
I'm doing good, sir, and you're looking good, too. Good to have you. I was just doing a little introduction on you. For those of you who haven't met Doug, Doug is a black diamond with our company. Really what that means is he and his wife, Amy, have built a distribution organization that's developed thousands of consumers. He's become one of our company's top income earners, documented 7-figure income earner in the profession of network marketing. And I asked Doug if he would join us this evening and maybe share a little bit about how he got involved in the profession, why he came to Zija, what he sees for the future, because this is something I learned a long time ago. If you hear the stories, if you learn the stories of how people got to where they are, that's cool. That's the roadmap or the guide, if you will. If you want what they have gotten, then simply do what they have done. And it's a simple process. So, Doug, excited to have you here. You're looking good, young man. Hey, listen, if you're under 60 years of age, you're a young man. And actually, I play that little game with Doug because, Doug, I think you're like 10 years younger than me and 20 times better looking. But
I don't
Doug,
know about that.
Doug, maybe let's start out like this. I know you've been in the profession for a long time. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, what brought you to the network marketing profession?
Well, absolutely. I have to tell you, Fred, if I wasn't already in, I would be now after hearing what you just said about Zija. I mean, that's powerful stuff. So you did a great job there just kind of laying a foundation for everybody. Yeah, Fred, I have been involved in network marketing most of my life. I started when I was 19 years old. That's when I was first introduced to this industry. And, as a young man, I mean, I had questions. I was confused. I had a lot to learn. I did not have the support that I needed to have at that time to continue, with that specific company I started with. But, I rode that ship as long as I could with my first company. And then because of that lack of support, I just kind of faded out until I found another company. But it was amazing the things that I learned about network marketing, the things that I could just start establishing a foundation as a 19-year-old young man that I've been able to carry with me now. I'm 53. So yeah, you're 64. I'm 11 years younger, as you mentioned. But, I'm excited to lock arms with you to help thousands of people. And I know what we have right here in Zija, we can do that. But just going back to my history of that, starting at 19, now it's been a lot of years that I've been involved in network marketing. And I realized if you have the right products and the right leadership and you've got, residual income is so powerful. I'll talk about that more tonight in just a little bit. I just remember hearing things that really got me excited as a young man. And I knew that I wanted to continue down this path of network marketing. I knew that this is what was the industry I wanted to always be a part of, that would be able to provide not just for me, but also my future family at the time. I was 19, and now we have 7 children, right? And it has provided for them and my wife, Amy, and I. So, and many thousands of others. So we're excited to be a part of it.
Now, maybe what we can do here, because you joined Zija, I believe, in was like 2010 or something like that.
July of 09.
July of 09. Okay. And so I've been in about a year and a half. Why don't you take us back to that time? What was going on in your life that caused you to make a decision to join this company?
Sure, and let me just clarify. My wife Amy is the one that was introduced to Zija.
I was going to let you say that it was Amy that was the one that really did it. I didn't want to step on your feet, but
And so you're right. I didn't get started till January of 2010. She had already built a really good foundation, I think, to the bronze level, at least on her own, before I even decided to join her efforts. And so together, from January 2010, that's when I got started, that we were able to build a very solid, substantial business that's been life-changing. But to go back to that, Amy really just fell in love with the power of Moringa. All the things that she was told about it, just the different contents, the things that had already been proven to have done in people's lives over the years and all. She was very, very excited and just fell in love with the tree and the power of that. And she shared that with me. And so again, we both started taking the products. We got great product results. Both of us did. More energy, sleeping better, more refreshed, able to handle stress better. So many just things like that make a world of difference in our lives. That was, our experience there. But my thinking, I was riding a sinking ship at the time, Fred, because as I mentioned, I've always been in this industry, and I think about 5, maybe 6 different companies over my 30-some years. But we were in survival mode. When we first heard about this, and Amy brought this to me, initially I'm not quite sure about all that. I was skeptical. I didn't even know if I even wanted to do network marketing anymore. I was just feeling burnt, and I wasn't quite sure, is this the right company? I was just confused. But in my heart, I knew as the man, I got to provide for my family. And at the moment, I wasn't. And we were literally in survival mode, Fred. I know there's a lot of people watching this and listening. They totally understand that. When you don't have the money to pay those bills, it was a very, very difficult time. And so because of that foundation and that thinking in my heart, survival mode really got me to thinking, what am I going to do? And so I did. I fell in love with it as well. And as I mentioned, we both got great results. We got one of the packages. We said, yes, we're going to get enough to consume ourselves as well as to share with other people. We did plug into the system that is there for everyone to plug into, including using that upline validation, which is so important. That's why I'm so excited that you and I are locking arms together in this endeavor. So all of those things, along with those great results, we just began sharing with other people, and we realized we can't keep this to ourselves, Fred. So it's been an amazing journey.
Well, and I'm going to give you some kudos, because I actually remember exactly where I was. I was getting out of my car to go into a stop and rob for something, a convenience market, right? And I got a call from a gentleman named Mike Livingston, and he had Amy Stroup on the line, your wife. And she was so excited about the product results that she'd gotten, and she started sharing with me that you folks were in another company, but it was a struggle. Your focus was basically, and I understand that. I think many of us have been there. You can't see the forest for the trees. You just got to keep moving forward. Got to keep going. Got to keep going. Got to keep going. And too broke to pay attention, right?
Yeah.
And my question to her was, well, listen, I'm here to support you. What my question is will your husband support you working a different program, a different company? Because we all know, a home that is not united is divided, and it's not going to stand. I mean, that's a principle. And she said, yes, he will support what I'm doing. And it was about 6 months later when you realized, hey, Amy's making some money, maybe we better go do this. I want to point out something, and so kudos to you, because you were that husband that was willing to support his wife even if she was going in a different direction. I want to point out something else, Doug, that I heard you say that I think is probably going to be real important for a lot of people, because well, here's a fact. Okay, by the time you hit maybe 25 or 30 years of age, I guarantee you somebody has talked to you about their opportunity with soap or vitamins or wrinkle cream or something, right? Plastic wraps that shrink your body, whatever. Everybody's heard about some deal. Now, if you go back and take a look at all those deals, here's the statistics. 99% of those companies aren't around. 50% of those companies aren't around within 18 months. 90% of those companies are not around within 5 years, and 99% of those companies, 99% plus, are not around 10 years later. That's a fact. And I heard you say you've been with like 5 different companies. Maybe you could, just maybe sum up, 3 reasons why Zija International, with your experience, and you've got decades of experience in the profession of network marketing, maybe you can give me like 3 reasons why Zija International will be a $1 billion a year company.
Sure, I'd be glad to. The first one I think of is Ken Brailsford, and his track record is just amazing. I had not heard of him, prior to hearing about Zija, but when he's one of the first guys I first heard of, when Mike was sharing that with my wife Amy, he has stood the test of time. And when you look at his track record, his companies have stood the test of time. He builds companies that are here to last. And I feel very sure that, Zija is going to outlive us. It's just amazing. So Ken Brailsford would be the first thing to come to mind. I knew I wanted to be on that guy's team, because he knows what he's doing. The next one would just be the power of residual income. That would be the second one. For realizing so many people are a clock in, clock out and still not making ends meet. If you think about making ends meet, if you can see this right here, there's 2 ends to this pin and they're going in opposite directions, right? Saying that trying to make ends meet will never work. It just doesn't happen. You have to have the right company, right, that has the power of the residual income and the opportunity to really make life-changing income, not only for yourself, but also for other people. And then, of course, the power of the product. Moringa is, as you mentioned, all the great things about it earlier, but the most nutrient-dense plant on the planet.
Yeah, number 2 or 3, number 1.
Right, absolutely. And to be able to capture all of that nutrition the way it naturally occurs in the moringa tree, extremely powerful. So those are my 3. Ken Brailsford, the power of residual income, and the power of the product itself.
Doug, it's interesting that you say you hadn't heard of Ken until you were introduced to this company. That's actually the reason I joined.
Right.
I'd been in retirement. I retired after 10 years from a previous company. And over, a number of years, I had lots and lots of people, the deal, you've experienced it, when you've made a significant income in network marketing, your name is on everybody's list. So I got to hear about all the companies coming, got to get in, we're all going to get rich, blah, 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 blah. And I had pretty much made a decision. I wasn't going to get back in unless, number 1, experience corporate leadership. Because it takes more than a great product to sustain a long-term company. We've seen companies, we could probably even talk about a few companies that had really good products that we wish we could still have, but they're not in business anymore.
Right.
Secondly was the product, okay? Because unless you have a product that meets recognized needs, that people will continue to use month after month, whether or not they're involved in the business, you don't have an opportunity. You've got a money game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the final component is timing, and that's what I didn't see back then. But the fact that Ken Brailsford, I knew who he was. To be part of a Ken Brailsford company was what an incredible blessing. To think he'd actually start another company. We're running low on our time, but I do want you to just kind of mention something, Doug, if you don't mind sharing a little personal stuff with the
Sure.
folks. Because I'm looking at the list of people that have joined, and there's a number of people that are part of the leadership of your organization, like Dee Dee Shaw, Barbie Stahl. Last 3 years, Doug, pretty much about last 3 years, you've kind of been in semi-retirement. And just now, just over this last probably about 30 days, we've been working together. We're locking arms. We're taking what we started with Zija, and we're taking it to the next level here in 2018. Maybe you can share a little bit about why you've kind of been absent for a bit from the Zija community.
All right, Fred, I want to thank you for asking me that. I will try to keep it as short as I can and just hit some highlights. The last 3 years have been the most difficult time in my life. I'll just keep it brief. Back in April of 2015, I was doing one of the things on my bucket list, which was to do a century ride on my bicycle. So I was cycling on a century ride, and yes, that's 100 miles all at the same time. And start to finish was 103 miles. I had just crossed mile 102. Fred, I was less than a mile from the finish line. I could see it right up ahead, and I was going to make that final turn, and I knew that there was the finish line, and I was going to cross it on my bike. I was very excited, but about 20 miles an hour, I ran off the back. My back tire ran off the road. It about bogged down in the mud because it had been raining, and the rest is history. My bike went across the path of the 2 lanes of highway. My body went over the handlebars, and I twisted, and I landed in the middle of the highway on the back of my head. And yes, I was wearing a helmet, but basically drove that dial up into the this brainstem and the right there in the base of my skull. And among lots of major injuries, the biggest one was a TBI, which is a traumatic brain injury. So that has been a very, very difficult road for me. When you can't focus, when you zone out, I was just living in another world and literally could not make phone calls, could not do training, could not, I couldn't work for 2.5 years. It was an extremely difficult time of just trying to recover. Now, I'll say this on behalf of my wife and children. They did everything for me, which was beautiful to have that support. But my wife would bring in at least 3 times. She would bring into me the Super Mix and had some Recover in there. I mean, all the Moringa products, and would just really help me in my road to recovery. And I feel like it's because of that here I am, almost 3 years later, doing as well as I am, because there's a lot of nightmares that people that have had the same type of injury that I had that aren't doing well at all. And so I feel very blessed. And I will have to say this: when you can't work, then what happens to most people? They lose everything, Fred. And I sit here close to tears because had it not been for the work we had put into Zija prior to my accident, and the team that we had been able to build and they had built, and it just working together, the residual income from Zija is what kept us floating all the way through for the last 3 years. And I know without a doubt, without that, we would have lost everything. So I'm very, very thankful to be sitting here on this call with you. I'm very thankful to be a part of Zija, such a powerful company. And I just want to say thank you. Looking forward to locking arms as we already have, but to reach out and help as many people as we can throughout 2018. So this has been a privilege.
I appreciate you sharing that, Doug, because in today's economy, in today's world, more and more people, more so than, over any time in the 30 years plus that I've been involved in the industry, more people are open to hearing about alternative ways to create income, because most people no longer buy the story that a job is security. Okay? One person If you have a job, one person controls, 100% of your time freedom and 100% of your income. And whether or not somebody experiences what you experience, I had challenges last year with my mother, basically took me out of the game for a year. The fact of the matter is, knowing that you can put some time into a project, have fun, help people, and create an ongoing residual income stream based upon that foundation of products that people will continue to buy independent of whether or not they're involved in the business. That is what a peace of mind and what a security. And Doug, I am so excited to have you back in the game. You're looking good, you're sounding good.
Thank you.
And we had a lot of fun building business and a few years ago, and we're going to have even more fun this time.
Yes.
Doug, thanks so much for joining us this evening. I really appreciate the time you took to be with us. I'll send you back to the other side, and I'll close up with a couple of remarks.
Thank you,
Doug.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, see, we're going to let Doug go back to the other side here. There we go. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we spent a little bit more time than we typically do on this broadcast, but I think it was really important for you to hear from somebody like Doug Stroup, who's had decades of experience in the industry, came to Zija literally, as they say, on a wing and a prayer, right? Coming in on a wing and a prayer. And because of a simple system and the support systems we've put in place for the new person, was able to create a life-changing residual income in just a very short couple of years. And so for those of you that were invited this evening to take a look at what we've got going, I want to do two things. Number one, information you need about the company, information you need about the product, all that's available. That wasn't what we were designed to do tonight, but rather just to give you some exposure. Get with the person that asked you to be part of this broadcast, or maybe somebody sent you to the video replay link of this broadcast. Get a hold of them. Get your questions answered. We've got lots of information that's available to provide you with the resources you need to make a decision. And then secondly, for those of you that are ready to get started, if you're ready to make 2018 the beginning of your financial security and future for your family, then get involved with us. Get in, get some product on hand, get the training you need, and I want to make sure that you are plugged in this coming Saturday morning. I'll be 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be hosting a very special new distributor training where we will be delivering the information. I mean, the specific information that I received over 30 years ago that helped me launch a career that allowed me to retire in 10 years as a, obviously a much younger man than I am today. What most people dream about, many of us have already been there, done that, and now we're going on for more. That training will be instrumental to kicking off the success of your Zija business. So I encourage you to get the link information. It'll actually be the same link that we have for tonight. Will be for Saturday morning. With that, another shout out to Doug Stroup. I'm incredibly blessed to have Doug as part of my team. He's contributed so much, not just to my success, but to all people within Zija International. We're excited to have Doug back on board and active with us. With that, I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight. Thank you for joining me. My home office, time to go get dinner for Mom now. And we'll look forward to seeing all of you on Saturday morning. We'll see you then. Take care. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.